What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Scyushi. Today is the long-awaited video that you guys have been heavily requesting, which is my gym workout. I've been doing this workout steadily for the entire year now, and frankly speaking, I think I've cracked it. There's two schools of thoughts with working out. One is super heavy weights for like maybe 5 or 6 reps tops. But what I've been doing is low weights up to 15 reps. And the funny thing is that you don't really notice a difference between the high weights or the low weights. Like as far as my body composition, it hasn't really changed that much, but I actually feel significantly stronger because my endurance is a lot better. And the reason why I can get away with doing a 20-minute workout a day is because it's so absolutely intense during those 20 minutes. No matter what, with these workouts that I'm gonna be showing you guys, every day without fail, I will feel super sore in the muscle the day after, which was something that wasn't honestly happening all the time when I was lifting heavy weights, because more often than not, I would push myself to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. Speaking of, working out to failure is something that's very key and vital to my workouts. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to explain it very briefly. The uneducated think that working out to failure means you're pumping the exercise and then suddenly you just drop the weight because you literally failed, you can't do it anymore. That's not working out to failure though. Working out to failure is doing the exercise properly with form and technique, and failure is when you sabotage that form or technique. So the whole philosophy of my workouts right now, if you guys want to do this at home, is to try and find a weight that you're comfortable pushing just to 15 reps. And I'm not talking about getting to 15 reps and then stopping and putting the weight on the ground. Hey, that felt pretty good. No, you are choosing a weight that you can just barely get to 15 reps with proper form, control, and technique. The other key ingredient is how you're going to end up actually handling the motion of the workout, the technique. Let's take a simple bicep curl for an example, and I'll explain how I do my bicep curls. It's very weird. I do it laying down on a bench so that I can end up getting a deep stretch, because the stretch of the muscle is actually where it really counts. In this example though, let's say that we're doing a bicep curl. Most everybody knows how to do that. Curl up, curl back down. The goal of all of our exercises, you're gonna shoot that up as quick as you can, nice burst of control, not just throwing the weight up. You're going like a machine. And then you're going to slowly just milk the hell out of that extension. And then when you end up getting to the bottom, you're gonna pause for a full second and then slow dragged out. That's gonna be the thing that's going to end up making the big difference with this 15 reps. Now, another reason why my workouts are only 20 minutes is because I can technically go to the gym every day if I want. So I have like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different individual days worth of workouts here before I end up repeating the first one. The point is that if you can't go to the gym or work out that often, you can just take some of these and just pile them all into one day. That said, don't feel guilty if you do copy my workouts, but don't go to the gym every day. I don't either. I go as often as I can, but sometimes I just don't get to it. And I don't beat myself up for it, because at the moment, I'm kind of just working out for me. But I will say that one of the big things that kind of kept me from going to the gym and still keeps me from going to the gym now is I still have the notion in the back of my mind that I have to lift heavy. It got to the point with my workouts where I was dreading going to the gym, because if I didn't feel in tip-top shape, there was no way I was lifting that 300 or 400 pounds. The point is, I have years of lifting heavy under my belt. Now I'm trying to adopt the mentality of lifting light for high reps. It's gonna be a while before that clicks in the brain and I stop being intimidated to go to the gym and just realize, wait, it's only gonna be 20 minutes. Doesn't mean it's not 20 minutes of pain. So with each of my exercises that I'm gonna be showing you guys, I'm not gonna end up going over the weights that I use, because frankly speaking, the weights that I use are irrelevant. Like I said, the point isn't to flex or try to intimidate people. You are pushing yourself. You, not me, not anybody else, just you. This is a challenge for you yourself to push to 15 reps. Doesn't matter if you need to lift like 100-pound dumbbells to feel good about 15 reps. Doesn't matter if you end up lifting the 2-pound dumbbells. You are going to the gym for yourself and nobody else. Otherwise, if you go to the gym for the wrong reasons, guess what? It's just going to end up being your New Year's resolution and you're gonna stop working out right away. Chest day. I start with a dumbbell bench press, 3 sets, 15 reps. Proper technique in this case is lowering the dumbbells at about nipple height, getting a deep stretch at the bottom. You've also probably heard the term of mind-muscle connection. So if you can really focus your brain on what you are mechanically doing with your body, it will actively make a difference. Next, we end up doing a dumbbell incline press. This is 3 sets, 15 reps. My goal with this is to push it down so hard that the dumbbell touches my shoulder lightly. And as an optional extra, if you're feeling powerful that day and you really want to push everything out of the tank, you can do a barbell bench press. In most cases, I'll do 4 sets of 5 reps. But as I'm going to showcase in the video here, sometimes I'll just try to push myself to the limit to see how heavy I can lift that day. And I think this is the only workout that I actually want to actively show you guys me fail. The bench press is one of the most dangerous workouts that you could possibly ever do. Because if you don't end up doing it in a squat rack where you have the 2 bars on the side to save your life, you are not going to be able to lift that weight off. This exercise sucks, not only just for the dangerous level of it, but it's also just not as effective at gaining strength as the other 2 exercises I just showed you. Not to flex, but by just doing the dumbbell bench press with 15 reps and then the incline press, I actually hit my personal best with the barbell bench. Moving on, back day. This one's a bit weird because I use a cable machine for a lot of these, but I'll show you a couple different options. First, I start with a cable bar lat pull down, 3 sets, 15 reps. I don't necessarily have consistent form with this one just because sometimes it feels really good to stretch my back. The point of this exercise is you're gonna hit the lats, which is where your ribs are. I guarantee you, if it's your first time doing this, even if you're like a muscle-bound freak, you are going to feel all sorts of pain from the stretch. So then we start moving on to the optional, a cable floor row, because I don't have a proper row machine. This would be 3 sets, 15 reps. I like to do this to stretch my back for the deadlifts that we're gonna be doing later, but we don't always have to do it. Conversely, instead of doing the cable floor row, you can end up doing the dumbbell bench row. Proper technique for this is leaning forward, keeping your back straight, not arched, with a slight bent at the knee. And once again, you are focusing on a very deep stretch. Then we end up doing pull-ups with your palm facing forward. I'm at about 190 pounds myself right now, so I only can end up doing 3 sets for 5 reps. But this is how you do a proper pull-up. No cheating, no rocking your body or using momentum or anything like that. You do it slow and controlled and you drag it out and milk it at the bottom. You'll find that as soon as you end up doing this technique properly, when you say, oh, I can end up doing 20 pull-ups, no, you can't. Not if you do them properly. And then we finish with a barbell deadlift. This is 3 sets, 15 reps. Proper technique for this is you can bend slightly at the knee when you're at the bottom. Generally, you're trying to keep your back straight, not arched. But it's not really that problematic if you don't arch your back. Because you're going to be using lesser weights, it means that you can kind of experiment with weirder form positioning. Like it might seem stupid to completely bend your back down like a snake and slither it back up for the deadlift. But the funny thing is that'll probably end up making your back stronger in compromised positions, which is kind of the whole goal of working out in the first place. My point is you can go crazy trying to learn like 100% proper form and technique, but it's not like super mandatory. So even if you're doing it slightly wrong, it doesn't really matter. Then we're on to bicep day. Yes, that's right. I split my arm day across 3 days. So this is probably the most effective bicep curl I've discovered, which is laying down on a bench. This way you can end up having a huge stretch at the bottom. We're gonna be doing 3 sets for 15 reps. And then I do burnout sets with plates. So I do 3 sets at 5 reps with a weight that I can only really push to 5 reps. Then I do a lower weighted plate for 3 sets, 5 reps. And I finally finish with 5 sets of 5 reps. The final plate for me is only 10 pounds. So I found that it's not really like super taxing on my body if I just hold the weight for the entire workout rather than dropping the plate. Then we've got triceps. You can do either a cable overhead extension or a dumbbell overhead extension with 3 sets, 15 reps. Then I end up doing a chin up, which is palms facing towards yourself, 3 sets, 5 reps. And then we've got shoulder day, which is going to have a dumbbell lateral raise for 3 sets of 15 reps. The trick to this one is that you want to end up having your pinky up and your thumb down if you can. And you can either lift your arm straight to the side or slightly in front of you if you need to, whatever's more comfortable. But the reason why we're doing the thumb down and pinky up is because that's going to tackle the middle of the shoulder rather than the front or the back. And the only other last part of this workout that's really important is once you end up getting to that last set and that very last rep, you're gonna drop the weights and you're gonna do 15 more reps for 1 more set with no weights. You think it's stupid. I know it looks dumb, but do this when you're already at failure. And oh my God, this is such a mental game to push through this because it is pain, dude. And then that would technically already be my days because I do in fact skip leg day. I think a combination of doing super high cardio and then moving into really, really heavy squats completely and permanently messed up my knees. While I still love the feeling of my legs just being so shaky and barely able to function because I've really pushed myself at the gym, it now comes with the added side effect of my knees feeling so painful that it just gets rid of all the enjoyment. So frankly speaking, I skip leg day and I just compensate by doing a lot more light cardio, whether it be going up and down stairs or just walking the baby. That said, I'll still give you my leg day, which is gonna be a dumbbell stiff-legged deadlift. Proper form for this again is keeping your back straight. And in this case, you're keeping your legs straight. It is going to end up hitting your back a little bit, but generally speaking, this is gonna be hitting like the back of your legs. But if you're more comfortable doing just a normal barbell deadlift instead of the stiff-legged deadlift, that works as well. Or instead of that, you could do a barbell full squat. For my squats, I was only doing 3 sets of 5 reps because again, my knees just couldn't do the high rep count. And you're actually gonna end the exercise by doing body weight squats. The trick to this is you wanna end up having your heels a few inches off the ground. You could use a mat, or in my case, I just take like the really small dumbbells and put them under my heel. This is the squat that will prove how manly you are because it's just a body weight squat. How hard could it be? Well, after you've already pushed your legs to exhaustion, extremely hard. The goal with this is as you end up doing a squat, just as you're about to reach the bottom, you bounce right back up. Slow, control, down, bounce right back up. Slow, control, down, bounce right back up. Once you experience this, you will know the definition of pain. And yeah, you know what? That's it for my workouts, guys. Whether you're new to working out or a seasoned veteran, I would highly recommend trying this out, especially if you're getting older in years like me and joint pain was becoming a problem. But even then, you could start doing this when you're young as well. I'm really excited for when baby Leon is old enough that he can start working out because then I can pass on these techniques to him. He's just gonna be so much stronger than I was because when I was a teenager, I didn't know any of this crap. I just kind of experimented and, oh, I got 25 pounds, let me just lift weights. It gets results. It does. Screwing around will obviously work because one of the most important things to working out is putting the work in. And it's only with experience that you'll start to realize the quality of the work matters too. Working out is a long-term game. As the saying goes, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Taking care of your body is something that's really, really important. And while dieting is definitely really good, and most people can just get away with walking every day, I personally have always loved lifting weights. But I was ignorant, and I thought that I had to lift heavy all the time. And frankly speaking, I never really noticed a problem with it until I started getting older. These higher rep range exercises make me feel a lot stronger at a deeper tissue level. And I hope that in some small way, this video might have inspired you to try it out for yourself. If it did, or if you just enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you leave a like. You could subscribe, but if I'm being honest, I don't do these workout videos very often, despite the fact that I am constantly working out. It being something that's so slow paced and long form before you have results means I can only really chime in with updates every few months.